let's get you over to the video. Coach Rocky Seto, everybody.
Okay, we're gonna basically I'm gonna take you through a meeting like we do with our defensive players, right? So I just want to make sure, give you a little insight. So if we go to the tape here, let's get the film up here. So basically here, start it all off right here. We are a shoulder tackling team. Okay, the Seattle Seahawks are a shoulder tackling team based on our leverage. So what does that mean? The side that we're coming in from is a shoulder. When hit with that shoulder, this is going to be a left shoulder hit for Brandon Meebing here. We try to eliminate the head count. That's a left shoulder hit by DeMarcus Dobbs right there, contacting and loading up. And this may be counter, coach. Here's a right shoulder hit by, look at that. Isn't that nice? Right there by Bobby Wagner. Okay, so notice how our guys are able to work out their shoulders and their chest muscles, and most of the brunt is loaded up, the brunt of the hit is loaded up on our shoulders. That's what we're looking for. Okay, here's Cam Chancellor, of course, right? All the shoulders, knocking the guy down. Here's the interesting one. We call this a hawk tackle. Where right here, he's coming from outside in position. KJ right will make a right shoulder hit at the thigh level. Okay, that's what we call a hawk tackle. Something that we've been teaching since college. Okay, and here's Cam. That's just a fun one to show right there, right? Okay, here's Richard Sherman now. So a lot of time, Richard plays on the left side for us. So most of his his tackling hits are going to be with this right shoulder there. Okay, so, and some of the things. Now this is interesting. Here we are incorporating some rugby hits, and the kind of the background on this, how this came about is this. We've been teaching this principle since we're at USC, but we continue to refine them. Funny story, maybe in 2012 springtime, a guy named Kit Lawson. Okay, who's Kit Lawson? He is a football coach from Birmingham University, not in Alabama, but Birmingham University from England. Okay, so Kit and I were talking, and we have a coaches gracious to allow a bunch of coaches to come through to learn. And we got onto the topic of tackling. And so I started explaining to him, this is how we tackle with our shoulders, and we try to keep it to our leverage. And he goes, you know what? All that is a rugby tackle. And I said, thank you, Lord, right there. That gave me the perfect illustration to tie it all together. We're still teaching the principles earlier, but I think this is a great way to convince our players that you can still hit our opponents really hard, okay, because these guys are playing rugby are wearing shorts and T-shirts, and they're getting off the ground right after. So that's what we're hoping to get done, and this is kind of how it worked out. So, so that's a lift tackle by Earl. Okay. Tracking. This is something that we talk about, maybe the most important part of our tackling system. What does that mean is this. We, as a defender, are looking at the near hip of the ball carrier. Okay, so Earl's coming from a left to right or inside out position. Right now, Earl has a tackling plan. I am going to contact and hit with my right shoulder. Okay, so he's getting a good football position. This rugby guy, he's coming from outside in position. He knows this is also a right shoulder hit. And he is also tracking or keying the near hip of the ball carrier. Why is tracking so important? Like I started off talking about, we are a shoulder tackling team based on leverage. So as long as I'm able to maintain my leverage, I'm able to continue to close in and not overrun plays. because we're also counting on my teammate to show up on the other side. So right here, we'll stay on the tape here. Okay. There it is. And then this is a drill. Here's big camp chance. And before he even gets to hit or touch anyone, we work on our tracking drill. We call this run and gather. So these guys are servicing each other, and we try to keep closing and keep maintaining our leverage at the same time. Here he is coming back from the other side. And notice now, we call this a near foot position by Cam, and what we want to be in this position. The reason why is this: if I'm Cam and I'm closing, I want to be in a near foot position if the ball carries right here to my right, so that if I hip, I want to make sure my hip is opened up, so that if Richard Sherman wants to cut it back, I'll still be able to open up and run with them, okay? And we want our near foot up so we can load up the hit as well. So we want to be physical on the contact as well. So here's Earl working it. Look at how hard they're working at it. And here, look at this exact same drill show up in this scenario here. Exactly. Okay, tracking the near hip. We try to definitely work the same principles that the players are going to see on Sunday. Okay, we don't want to just do drills just for the sake of drilling. So there's different principles, different techniques that we work on here. Here's KG right. Look at this. There's a lot of space here. How are we going to get that fast guy down? Well, 50 is looking at the near hip and closing and then using his right shoulder to hit. Same thing right here. Here's Bobby Wagner working on a swing route. Look, he's tracking the near what? What do we see? We're tracking the near what? Near hip. That's right. Okay, that's good. So this is just like how we coach at home right there. Boom. Near hip. Okay, so here, look at this play. This is exactly what we're talking about. Tracking the near hip and making sure we make that tackle. So tracking is a huge principle here. There we are talking about the near foot position by Cam Chancellor here. Now, why is it important, okay, to maintain that near hip is this. You notice KG got the far foot up. What happens here, football fans, here 12s, this guy, Andre Johnson's able to cut it back. Right now, physically, he's not able to open up and keep his leverage. You guys see that? So there's one guy that misses. Okay, Big Tony McDaniel, he's big enough. It's hard enough with him, right? He gets his wrong foot up, and there it is. His hip is locked out. And then even Bobby Wagner, he gets his wrong foot up. And then we lose our leverage. That is the key to tackling, is by dominating and owning our. This is what we call a near foot swoop. As we work, we try to maintain our near foot, and we close to the ball carrier. So here, look at, here's a live shot from the Super Bowl here. Near foot, and I'm tracking to the near hip and making the tackle right there. That's a really nice job here. Okay. Look at this Earl. He's got one of the toughest jobs because a lot of his tackles are in space. Okay, he's a critical guy getting guys down. Look at near foot, tracking the near hip, and getting the guy down. Okay, so really good examples of compression tackles. So what do we talk? We talk to our players. Hey, own your hip, so that when you gotta get help from your other teammate here. Okay, so there's own your hip. Here it is, coming down. And this is kind of Coach Brian Schneider does a great job coaching this up, getting our near foot and working our drills. So look at this here. Boom, using your teammates, owning the near hip of the ball here. We can do it moving. Okay, our coaches fill in and help out. There's John Ryan helping out, tracking in. Okay. who happens to be a really good athlete too. He could run around pretty good. But here's a compression tackle. Look at each guy owning his hip. That's what we're talking about. Here's a corner and a safety. That's a compression tackle. So basically, that's what we're talking about. Okay, so moving on, I want to just cover a couple things real quickly here. This is a hawk tackle. Okay, this is a hawk tackle, and this is a tackle at the thigh level. Okay, here it is. Bobby Wagner, right shoulder hit, tackle in the thighs. This is the type of tackle that we prefer. Eyes to the thighs, rapid squeeze, drive for thighs, what we're talking about. Here it is. Earl Thomas, eyes to the thighs, rapid and driving for 5 when can. Here's KPL, Kevin Pierre-Louis, a rookie last year. Okay, look at him. Look at him tracking really hard. That's a lot of space, and then working hard to get his right shoulder into the thigh of the ball carrier. Okay? So that's those are some of the principles. You know what? I'm going to skip ahead just to make sure I get to cover one of our newest. I want to give you one of our newest emphasis. We're putting out a new tape shortly here with Coach Carroll. This is a hawk lift tackle. Okay, so what is that? We're lifting the tack just like this rugby guy. It's a right shoulder hit, and it's a left hook by the offense. So here he is. Here's Earl, left shoulder hit, and it's going to be a right hook. And we're lifting the man just like this, lifting the guy off the ground. That's what we're looking for. And that looks similar. Okay, so there's a left shoulder hit, right hook. Okay, here's KG, right. Okay, it's going to be a right shoulder hit, left hook. There it is. Okay, I'm going to look at that's a left shoulder hit, right hook. And this is what we call a lift tackle. Okay, Cam is one of our best tacklers. We love watching him play right shoulder hit, left hooks. Okay, so getting the cleats out of the ground is what we're trying to get done here. Okay, here's a good one by Byron Maxwell here. Left shoulder hit, right hook. Isn't that good? Okay, so guys can't run when the cleats are out of the grass. So, and this is I think this is one of our key elements, and I think from Coach Carroll on to all the coaches, this is one of the critical factors for our defense. And here's a little insight. We have some numbers in terms of health. Our players have gotten healthier in terms of, thank God we've been able to eliminate and lower our head injuries with our players, our defensive players. And our missed tackles have been down implementing this style. So if you're a high school coach out there or a Pop Warner coach, it's a new day. Okay, when I was playing and even coaching early, I was taught to get my head across the tackle or see what I hit, which in effect put my head in the line of fire. Okay, does that make sense? And it's worked beautifully in terms of getting guys down, but now we know better. So now what we're trying to do is load up our shoulders, okay, and we put the brunt of the hit to our shoulders and our chest where we could train it better. And, if the guys get hurt, hopefully we can help repair it better too, right? So it's been a huge element to our game. And like I said, I think this is going to be one of Coach Carroll's hugest, biggest impacts that he's going to have on the game of football. So anyway, that's our tackling system right there.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you, Kyle.